Alright, what is up everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here today. This is the fifth and final round here. I just want to let you guys know, I actually had like the majority of this league completed a while ago. But due to life, you know, I'm graduating from engineering soon, so life has been hectic, but in about 5 days I will hopefully be graduating, assuming I passed all my finals. So just want to say I apologize for the delay in content. But I am happy you guys are here with me. So yes, we won the die roll, and we would like to play first. Let's take a look at our hand here. We have turn 1 Ancestral, we have turn 2 Mana Leak, and we have Serum Reasons as well. I'd say this is a pretty easy keep for us here. Got card advantage, we have interaction. So hopefully this is a good matchup, maybe. Hopefully this will be a good matchup for Ancestral Vision. Because turn 1 Ancestral Vision can be pretty strong against a lot of decks these days. Alright, we'll go ahead and suspend that. We'll pass the turn. Let's see what our opponent is on. Misty Rainforest, interesting. I wonder, Overgrown Tomb, sure. Tapped. Okay, this could be like Bug Delirium. So this is kind of going to telegraph the fact that we have Mana Leak, but that's, you know, better than having a Tarmogoyf or Grimflayer resolve. Okay. Abzan. So is this 4-color Kiki? Is my guess. Are we okay with Selfless Spirit resolving, is the question. It does get in the way of future Supreme Verdicts. However, their turn 3 plays can be things like Kitchen Finks, which can be even more annoying to deal with. So I think we'll just say okay here. I think this is not one of the biggest threats our opponent can produce, and it's also not a very fast clock either. So there's 2 counters there. So Colonnade is a nice land to play here. It'd be nice if we could use one of these Serum Visions, but we just never really had the opportunity to. And there is an argument that maybe we should have just, you know, played the Serum Visions turn 2. Okay, are they shocking is the question. No shock. Alright, take 2 here. Sure. If I had Cryptic up next turn, I would probably Snap Leak whatever they're playing here. But because that's not certain, Devoted Druid. Okay, so we don't have an answer to Devoted Druid, but at the same time, they could have Collected Company as well. I think I'll go ahead and Mana Leak that, though. I think that's one of the threats that we really don't want. We don't want them to get infinite mana, of course. Supreme Verdict. Okay. Let's go ahead and Serum Visions here. Man, that's a lot of junk if you ask me. But let's go ahead and put Snap on top. That way we can Snap Leak. We'll play another Serum Visions here. Dig deeper into the deck. Elspeth is great. I don't think we need that other land though. And here we'll just represent another counterspell. Alright, so here we can Tech Edge them, but I think keeping up Cryptic Mana is going to be better for us. I apologize if you hear some sort of loud noise. There is some construction going on outside, so Scoos. Oof. That does make our Snapcaster Mage a lot worse. Yep, you got your Vizier. Alright, so here we get our Ancestral Vision. We'll go ahead and target ourselves here, of course. So maybe we should have, you know, dealt with this Selfless Spirit. a while back when we could. If we just go Seachrome Coast here and pass, we're taking a lot of potential damage. So it'd be nice if we had something like a Path to Exile here, right? That would make things a lot easier. We could also go Snap Serum Visions and try to block during their attacks, but that still doesn't deal with a Selfless Spirit. The fact is, though, they can't get infinite mana yet, because the creatures won't have they won't have haste, basically, Devoted Druid. So what I'm setting up here is being able to Supreme Verdict again next turn. So this is interesting. I haven't seen the 4-color builds yet, and I wonder what they're splashing blue for. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Now, of course, a second Selfless Spirit here would be brutal. Yep. Okay, so here it makes me feel like they have Collected Company. Interesting, though, that they decided to play out their creatures instead. So the question is, do we go for the Verdict here and then just let them company? Because that could be pretty dangerous. And we're not taking all that much damage here. So we could wait and just keep up Cryptic here. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. Alright, sure, they just go ahead and eat that. Interesting, so they didn't go for the Collected Company if they had it. And then they're just eating up our yard. That's fine. Okay, another land. Ooh, they're shocking this time. Which is pretty scary. I wonder what they're shocking for. So maybe last turn was the best opportunity to Verdict. Interesting. So here we could try to blow up one of their lands, and that would prompt them to potentially use up their... So what's more important than for them here? Is it Breeding Pool? But they already have an island. Yeah, they have an island. So let's try to cut them off... cut them off black here. This might incentivize them to use their mana, and then we can hopefully sweep up the board afterwards. Sure. Okay. Well, that could be worse. It could be worse. D-Sphere is not horrible. I think we'll just go ahead and go for the Verdict here, though. Do they have Court of Calling for Selfless Spirit? That would be game, I think, right? Should I have played around that in any way possible? I don't think so. Yeah, chord for x equals 2. I'll let them search it, but yeah, they got it here. Well, I'll let them go for it here. So I'll go and play Teleria West. That might indicate to them that, you know. Alright, so let's see if they'll probably go for lethal. I mean, I can't imagine they won't, but just in case they don't. Alright, they got it. So maybe we could have played a little better with our verdicts there. I still think we did okay, though. I like this spell here. Grafdigger's Cage helps a lot in terms of Collected Company and Court of Calling, right? Because they creatures can't enter the battlefield from libraries. So I don't think this combo revolves around the graveyard much at all. So Vendilion Clique is an option. But in general, we're pretty well set up against them. Gideon of the Trials is pretty bad against the deck that goes wide, as is Blessed Alliance. Everything else is pretty good, though. Trying to think here what we might be able to cut from the main deck. Maybe we don't need the Clique. Although I found that it does help racing and disrupt them, because they do play at sorcery speed sometimes. And I don't know if we need more than one negate plus the 2 mana leaks to handle things like Collected Company or Court of Calling. D-Sphere is good. Yeah, this is tough. I'm not sure what the right play is here. What the right cut is. So if they're smart and they saw the Teleria West, they'll know maybe that we're playing As Foretold, and they might bring in Rex Sages. So maybe we should cut one of those, expecting a little bit of hate. Otherwise, I think this is a pretty good setup that we have here. I definitely think we could have played a little bit better in that last game, so hopefully we'll pick up the pace a bit here. So we have the turn 4 Verdict, but I don't think that's... I mean, it's slow. It's actually very slow. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan that. This hand's not much better, but we'll go ahead and keep. And yes, we would love Path on top. Path is really good spot removal. We'll go ahead and start off with Ancestral and see what our opponent is up to here. Let's see, right? No turn 1 Dork or anything like that, which is nice. Here we can feel pretty good just playing Colonnade. We don't have a mana leak, and I don't think it's worth bluffing it. Sure. Voodoo Druid is in. I guess the question now is, do we want to path it right now, or do we just want to... Because this could ramp them into Collected Company mana. However, if they have a land... If they have a land, they have Collected Company anyways, though. Because we ramp them into it. And if we do it upkeep... No, they can still do it. So, I think we'll just go ahead and pass. Devoted Druid by itself isn't the scariest thing in the world. And I feel much more comfortable going for the Path to Exile. Okay, that's not bad. We can path that. And then we still have Snap Path later down the road. Which is, of course, very strong. Alright, so we're banking on Ancestral Vision to hopefully dig us into some gas down the road. Wow, Cryptic Command is a great draw. I was going to play Teleria West, but there's just no reason to. It doesn't look like we're planning to curve out here or anything, so... Alright, I have a lot of lands. Okay. Kitchen Finks. I think we have to say okay to that, just because if they play a Vizier of Remedies, that's infinite mana right there. And now we can just go ahead and... Alright, 1, 2... Yeah, they can't Court of Calling for it. So now we'll just get rid of Kitchen Finks. And hope to draw into some more gas soon. Alright. Go ahead and crack this Flooded Strand. Get some more lands. Oh, wow, we're getting special now. I might have misspoke there. Wow, so those are all pretty good draws, and what's great about As Foretold is that it lets us kind of play this draw-go game in the sense that we can commit threats while keeping up mana. Voice. That's pretty annoying, actually. Yeah, they could have infinite mana from here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's Court of Calling equals 2. Which is what's really tough about the Devoted Druid. Maybe I should have just gone for one of the Druids and just... the thing is, though, like, if I put them on Court of Calling now, which I'm pretty sure they do, it just seems very likely. The question is, how are we beating a Voice of Resurgence, you know? And we could beat it through Elspeth, but at the same time... Alright, so I'm actually going to go for the... We could go counter bounce the Devoted Druid. That still folds to instant, like both lines, either click or cryptic, fold to a Court of Calling. I think we'll go for the more mana efficient way to do this. We'll counter target spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. The issue with Voice is that it's going to be very hard to Okay, so we dealt with Voice. We got some extra mana floating. Not the end of the world. Okay, so they have the Duskwatch Recruiter. Okay, land. Okay, they don't have infinite mana. And we know they have Devoted Druid in hand. Okay, shock. Devoted Druid, sure. Sure, so now they can activate Duskwatch Recruiter. And I think we're just happy to... let's try to get in some 2 points of damage here before we... But I think this is a board we're happy to Supreme Verdict on. They're going to activate Duskwatch, of course. Sure. Voice. Okay. So Voice is beatable without an infinite combo because we have Elspeth, and then we just don't have to battle on their end steps. So unfortunately, we're experiencing a bit of lag here. I apologize to you guys for that. Okay, so they play out the Voice, I imagine. Of course, they have two unknowns in hand now. Two Voices. Okay. Elspeth helps us deal with that, honestly. Spell Snare's a little bit slow there. A little bit slow to the party. Okay, so we can chump, we can play a Vendilion Click soon, even targeting ourselves during our turn to get rid of that Spell Snare in hand. Because I imagine at this point our opponent is just going to deploy most of their... Question is our opponent attacking? So they're attacking both at Elspeth. So we could go double block. Double block. Jump. And this leads us down a road to hopefully dealing with Voice of Resurgence eventually. And being able to cast counterspells. Kitchen Finks is good. For sure. Tech Edge is not bad. I think I'll play it. We'll start with main phase click, targeting myself. Try to get rid of the spell snare. And Verdict is pretty good. Verdict is very good. So I could go for the Verdict right now and then just Elspeth tick up. And I think that's enough value for me. Yep. So they'll have a 2-2 and a 2-1. We'll have a bunch of soldiers, and then this Cryptic is live, and Elspeth is also just taking over the game. And our opponent concedes. Alright. So we got through that game. Relic might be good against Kitchen Finks. So that might be something to bring in. Is it worth it though? I mean, it's kind of loose. It is kind of loose. Does this stop persist? Creature cards can enter the battlefield from graveyards or libraries. I think that stops persist too. It does shut down Snapcaster Mage though. But I think that's a loss worth taking there. Let's go ahead and submit. I think we have a pretty good setup here. Poof. Oh man. Like, I like what I see here. We have Verdicts, we have Serum Visions and Mana Leak, and we have some top end. The issue is we don't have lands, of course. Serum Visions could get us there, though. I think this is risky, but I think it's a keep. Just because the payoff is there. You know, Verdict is so strong in this matchup. Okay. Ancestral. Oof. I think actually the correct play here is just going to be Serum Visions, though. Just to ensure we hit some land drops. And I like both of these cards, honestly. Path to Exile is really strong here. But I think if we want to keep up turn 2 Mana Leak, we'll just have to set it up like this. And then if we don't have to crack the fetch, Vizier, sure. So right now that's just a 2-1. Not too scary, of course. And like I said, if we don't have to crack the fetch, we can take that Path to Exile into our hand. You know, the lack of Spreading Seas is actually, I do feel it. Because the ability to shut off greedy opponents has won me a lot of games in the past. We are drawing the Path to Exile. I still think I should Mana Leak this, though. Just because it's just such a bother to deal with down the road. Ghost Quarter. Let's just go ahead and suspend that, and then we can at least either turn 4 Cryptic or turn 4 Verdict. Whatever is best for us. Our opponent's shocking. They could be going for the main phase Coco, maybe? Alright. So we do have a 2-2 beating down, 2-1 beating down on us, but knowing that our opponent often plays at instant speed, I don't think it's smart to, you know, deal with that on our turn, especially when our opponent has open mana. A 2-1 is just a 6-turn clock, and I imagine we'll find an answer to that, or be forced to answer it with Verdict eventually. And our opponent passing there is pretty good for us. Our opponent playing on their main phase is also going to be really good for us, I think. Another Vizier. Sure. That's fine. And I think this is where we say, like, oh man, Jace is also not bad at all. Could force them to overextend. I think I'd rather just Verdict, though. I don't know if they play negates or anything like that, so I don't want to walk into like negate and feel pretty bad about that. But I think that 2-for-1 trade is fine. If they want to go ahead and resolve a Kitchen Finks now, or a Voice, or even a Collected Company, I'm okay with that. Yep. Aside from Kitchen Finks or Voice, I'm not too scared of what could come off the top of my opponent's deck here. Voice and Birds, or Finks and Birds, and so that's they're good cards, but like I said, not too afraid. Let's see how many more turns we got here. One more turn, great. So here I feel pretty happy just getting a Jace on the board. I can tick up, and they can Gavany, but that'd be their whole turn. I would like to find another Path to Exile soon, though, just because Kitchen Finks can get out of hand. But with 3 to 4 cards coming next turn, I think we have a pretty good chance of finding what we need. Gavany Township plus Finks is pretty annoying, which is why, exiling it is probably going to be the very best way to deal with that card. I guess now they have a decision. Do they go for Jace or do they go for my life total? And they go for Jace, which is good. He soaks up some damage and he can be card advantage down the road. Wow, our opponent just completely passes there. Just very interesting. So we're going to have a lot of cards here. Untapped land plus Path to Exile would be like the best combination. If our opponent is playing Spell Queller or something like that, that'd be very interesting. Let's see what our opponent opts to do here. Collected Company. They could still have Spell Queller here. So this could be kind of a blowout, but I'm going to go ahead and attempt to counter this, just because it's a lot of... It could really put them ahead. Oh man, do they still have the Spell Queller? Ooh, Unified Will. That's interesting. Yep, I can't fight that, so this could be pretty bad for us. I might have just said, maybe I should have just said okay to Coco and gone for the verdict, Alright, ooh, and they found the Spell Queller too. This is bad. This is bad for us, guys. We still have that verdict next turn as our play, but as it stands, we could be taking upwards of, let's see, that's 5 damage next turn. Right, okay. Ouch. Okay, yeah, this is pretty bad for us here. It's gonna force us to have to plus up with Jace. And hopefully, wow, okay. Tick up with Jace, and hopefully they send some amount at Jace instead of, Oh, wow, I just realized, Verdict would have still got hit by Spell Queller. But it was through the Coco, so I think maybe letting the Coco resolve and then playing Supreme Verdict might have been the way to go. But the fact that Queller can nab a Verdict is really strong. So here our opponent can Gavany go for... That's going to be 3, 6, 8 damage. Put us down to 2. We would go for the Verdict. But then they can, Township again on the Finks. So I think we're pretty dead here if our opponent sees the line. And not having cheap removal like Path to Exile is really hurting us right now. I do think that Cryptic Command maybe was a little loose on the Collected Company. I think maybe we should have just let them resolve it and then gone for the Verdict. I think that would have been the overall best choice. Based on, of course, it might be hindsight, but... Alright, them two a Jace. This one at me. Okay, so Jace is sogging us up a fair bit of damage here, which is good. And we'll see what our opponent decides to do here, if they want to commit more to the board. Wow, Selfless Spirit, oh my gosh. So now we have another choice. We can go Detention Sphere, the Kitchen Finks. And that means we take, they can still activate Township. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so then we take 3, 6 on our turn. Alternatively, we could go Cryptic Tap All. I think dealing with the Kitchen Finks, though, is going to be one of the better uses of our mana. So let's go ahead and start with Serum Visions. See if our opponent wants to bite. They do not, and we see a bunch of lands on top that we don't want. Let's go ahead and play Detention Sphere. Of course, another Unified Will, that's game over. But at this point, we can't play around a card like that. And after they activate Gavany, we can Ghost Quarter to at least they don't get another activation. Oh my god, do they have it? I mean, if they have it, they have it. You know. I don't think there's much we could... If they have it, they counter almost any spell we play. And then we're dead on the crackback from any other play. So this is a really cool take. This is like 4-color Bant. Collected Company. Wow. That is a good last card to have. So we really need them to hit like 2 dorks here or just whiff, you know? This does mean that they're not activating the Township. Squad Recruiter. Ouch. Ouch. Are we dead? I think we go to... So we have to take the Finks here, right? If we take Selfless Spirit, it's 2, 5, 7, 10. We're dead. So if we take Finks, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're not dead, but we're very close to it. And here I'll go ahead and Ghost Quarter the Township now, as to not be dead. And we're still not dead. You know, 1 isn't game over. But those Selfless Spirits are the reason that we're going to have a hard time breaking through here. We could, of course, Gideon +1. We could Cryptic. Oh, and they have just, you know, massive card advantage through Duskwatch Recruiter. So it's not like this is the board that we have to deal with. You know, they're going to start dumping mana into Duskwatch Recruiter, gaining a ton of card advantage. So we really, honestly, we needed that, put snow cards into their hands. So that's a good first step. That is a good first step. But we're going to have a difficult time breaking through here. Alright, Spell Queller. Alright, that's gonna be that's a card. That's actually, I think we're dead because of that actually, right? Because now we can't even upkeep Cryptic. So it's either land or bust. For Gideon. Yeah, no spells were cast. Nah, that's not quite the land that we needed. Yeah, Spell Queller, knowing about the Spell Queller, we're dead. We go Verdict, they of course, Selfless Spirit. We go Gideon, we can't go Gideon. We could, I think if they just forget to use Selfless Spirit, I think that's our only out. So we'll go for it. Otherwise, we're pretty dead. And it looks like they didn't F6 through their turn. Oh my god, creature spells cost 1 less to cast 2 there. Yeah, so we're dead. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. It was a close game, I would say there. Maybe we could have played a little tighter earlier in the match. But overall, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for some closing comments about Blue-White As Foretold. See you soon. Hey everybody, thanks so much for sticking around here for the closing statements. I just wanted to say first and foremost that I'm really thankful for all of you guys, you watching, subscribing, commenting, liking, every single one of you who is helping me achieve my dream of being a content creator. I just really wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I think we broke 200 subscribers about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I never got around to mentioning that and thanking all of you for being there. So thank you. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am a graduating engineering student right now who's going on to graduate school soon. So I won't have time. Finishing up this series was very difficult for me in terms of time, but hopefully during the summer, in the next week or two, I'll have a lot more free time to start cranking out some content for you guys. I'm hoping to be able to put out 1 to 2 videos a week. That's my goal. I don't know if it'll work out, but I'm really excited to make some more content for you guys. Okay, so let's talk about the deck now. Things I liked. I actually really liked the mana base. Aside from Seachrome Coast coming in, tapped every now and again, I actually think the mana base is pretty smooth. And there's not much I would change aside from maybe a few Seachrome Coast changes. Alright, then we have the Suspend package. I think they're all pretty good. I never got a chance to use Restore Balance, and when I had the opportunity to, I didn't need to. But I think it can be a good sweeper in a pinch. So I really like it for now, in theory. However, I don't know if that's ideal. The Counterspell package, I'm not quite sure is ideal. I think maybe we want to go Counterspell Light main deck. Because I really want to find a way to add Spreading Seas into the deck. I think Spreading Seas the lack of Spreading Seas was notable in my opinion. So I would love to find Spreading Seas, room for Spreading Seas somewhere in the main 60. Aside from that, there was As Foretold, and it did its thing in some games. In some games I didn't see it, and in some games it just wasn't enough. So like I said, I think As Foretold is a really good card, and I think we did have some poor matchups in the form of Lancer Control, so we might have gotten a better record. And the 2 decks that we lost to, we did push it to a game 3, which kind of says that there's a lot of variance in Modern. So I think overall it's not important to get caught up in the overall record of the deck, but the individual matches and how it performed in each match. And I think overall it performed very well. The question is, was that the power of the control shell, or was it the power of As Foretold? And I think definitely in some games it was the power of As Foretold, but then in a lot of games, you just won off the back of Supreme Verdict into Elspeth or Jace or something like that, so it's hard to say whether As Foretold makes the deck, quote unquote strictly better. Very hesitant to ever use something like that, so it's hard to say. It has its ups, and I'm sure it's going to have its downs. We didn't face any Abrupt Decay style decks. We never got it Maelstrom Pulsed, so overall, I'm really happy with the performance, and I definitely think there should be some tuning moving forward, but overall, I really enjoyed the list. Really, really enjoyed playing the list, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. The power of Ancestral Vision plus As Foretold is very powerful in the blue-white control shell. Whether it's worth it, it does dilute the main deck a bit in terms of your answers to the majority of the field. So I don't know if it's worth it. However, I hope you guys take this as maybe a starting point to start building yourself. If you're into blue-white, if you're into As Foretold, try it out and let me know how you do. It's a new card and it's worth testing, and I think it just needs to find the right home. I've seen it in Ad Nauseam, I've seen it in Blue Moon, So I think there's a lot of places you can take As Foretold. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm looking forward to making some more content. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next week. If it's gonna be Jeskai Saheeli or Grixis Delver, or maybe something I brew up myself. But yeah, that's where we're headed next week. If you guys have any suggestions or recommendations for what you want me to play, the only thing you have to remember is that it has to be a blue deck. That's the only thing, guys. So if you guys want me to do that, just let me know, and I'd be happy to try to fulfill some requests. All right, so thanks again for watching, and stay tuned. Hopefully in a next week or two for some more videos. See you soon.